Peppa and her friends are at playgroup.
Today is International Day.
Hooray! Madam Gazelle, what do all the countries of the world do?
They sing the Song of Harmony together.
Hooray! I like singing. So do I.
Does everyone remember the words?
No.
Your time is up, my time is...
Lovely!
It is playtime.
Enjoy yourselves! Play nicely together.
All the countries are playing in the playground. The United Kingdom is on the slide.
Whee!
France and Switzerland are on the swings. Germany is playing hopscotch.
1, 2, 3.
America, Russia, Spain and Greece are in the sandpit.
I'm building.
American, Russian, Greek, Spanish nuclear base.
Yeehaw!
Here are Holland and Japan.
Ahem. Now it's our turn in the sand pit. Why? Because you've had your turn. You can play on the slide now. But we want to play here.
Oh dear, there is not enough room in the sandpit for more than 4 countries.
What's going on? It's our turn in the sand pit. But we were here first. Is Susie being a bit bossy? George started it. Leave George alone. He's only little. Hello, hello, hello. What's all this noise about then?
Nay.
They're trying to push us out of the sandpit. No, we're not. Yes, you are. George started it.
Oh dear, the countries of the world are not playing nicely together.
What's that noise? Oh no! The countries are...
Having a war.
You can't play in the sand pit. Yes, we can. It's not fair. Stop arguing. Susie, you're always telling people what to do. No, I am not.
Children! What is happening?
America, Russia, Spain and Greece won't share the sand pit. Holland is being bossy. You're the bossy one.
That is enough. Is this how you think the countries of the world behave?
Don't they?
Of course.
All the parents have arrived.
How is International Day going?
We will now sing for you the Song of Harmony. Hooray!
What a wonderful display of togetherness.
Peppa and her friends love singing together in harmony.
Раз, два, три, 4, 5. Вышел зайчик, погоняет. Вдруг охотник выбегает прямо в зайчика, стреляет, пифа-пафа. Ой-ой-ой, умирает зайчик мой. Ну-ну-ма, ура-хей, ну-ну-ма, ура-хей, ура-хей-хей. Ну-ну-ма, ура, хей, ну-ну-ма, ура, хей, ну-ну-ма, ура, хей, ура, хей, хей, ну-ну-ма, ура, хей. Раз, два, три, 4, 5. Вышел зайчик, хвога я.